So this is a follow-up to a video I did a little earlier with Battlefield Hardline Hacker Mode. I want to go over a few more tips that I left out of that one. But if you're looking at this for the first time, this probably looks like a bunch of crap happening on screen that doesn't make any sense. But that first video that I did post up, I'll leave a link down below. It's a walkthrough where I go through and explain each one of these tools, and I do it really slowly so you know exactly what I'm doing in this video and why I'm doing the things that I am. But I did want to kind of give you a view of just how chaotic it can actually be whenever you're playing a full game going all in, especially against another hacker. And this is one of those game modes where you kind of get out of it what you put into it. And it can be, you know, kind of calm and relaxing if that's the way you want to play it, but it can also be super fast paced if you want to go balls to the wall, because there's almost always something to click on, something to deploy, something to do. And in this particular game, I was actually a little late joining. By the time I got in here, the enemy hacker had already jacked a ton of cameras on the field. So I'm going to be working from behind this whole time. But by the end of it, we actually end up having the upper hand, and I actually end up gaining control over most of the stuff on the screen. And you're going to notice that I'm going to spend a lot of my time around the vault, because in this particular game mode, we're playing Blood Money. That's where a lot of the action is going to be. That's where it should be. But there's also other things going around on the screen that you have to kind of pay attention to. One thing that I didn't mention in the last video was that there are different ranks when it comes to hacking. So whenever you first start out, your tools aren't going to be as good as somebody who's been doing it for a little while. But it doesn't take that long in order to rank your hacking tools up. So especially for like a weekend like this, because they've got double XP going on, I think it took me maybe less than a couple of hours before I maxed out my hacker capabilities with double XP. So I mean, I wasn't keeping a strict time on it, but I'm pretty sure I do have all the top features right now. But again, a lot of these games, I'm doing something almost constantly on the screen, and the more you do, the more XP you're going to get. And speaking of XP, I think they did maybe up it for this particular game, because I know that whenever I played Commander for Battlefield 4, by the end of the match, a lot of times I was usually at the bottom of the leaderboard after each game. But in Hardline, I've noticed that I've had more than one game where I'll be up near the top of the leaderboard. So you can rack up a ton of points. Again, the more you do, the more you throw down, the higher the rewards are going to be. And also something that I would recommend is to use something as soon as you get it. If you see that you have a tool available, throw it down somewhere, do something with it. Even if you mess up here and there, which sometimes I'll make mistakes and throw down something I didn't mean to, forget about it, move on to the next one. It'll come back. It's not worth sitting there, you know, fretting over. Use it or lose it is my motto. So I did have a couple of questions on the last video I wanted to address. Some people had asked whether or not there was a hacker app like there was for Battlefield 4, because with BF4, you could be, you know, on a bus or at school or whatever. If you had a tablet, you could bring up the hacker mode and actually play without being on your PC or actually on your console. But unfortunately, that is not the case in Hardline. There is no app for the hacker mode in Hardline, and it doesn't appear that there's going to be one. Just a couple of days ago, one of the devs was asked whether or not there was an app being worked on, and he said no. And so more than likely, if there is one coming, it's not going to be here anytime soon. And if I were a betting man, I would probably say it's not going to happen at all. So apparently not a ton of people used it. I don't know. I know that some people enjoyed it, but unfortunately it is not in Hardline. A lot of people ask me why I've been showing a lot more PC gameplay lately, and one of the main reasons for that is a lot of my best friends, they're PC players. Farva, Swank, TX Coulter, Skittles, Zach, Houdini, these people that you've seen plenty of times in my other videos, they mainly stick to PC, and they also are Battlefield players. So I've been running with them a lot more, and you'll probably see a lot more PC gameplay from me. Previously, I was having trouble recording PC gameplay But I did figure out what was going on with my shadow play, and right now I am sitting on a ton of Battlefield footage, so definitely more Battlefield videos coming out. So I'm going to go ahead and jump forward just a little bit towards the end of the gameplay. And by the end of it, we had turned it around as far as, looking at what the situation was when we first joined in. Again, the enemy hacker had a ton of cameras, and by the end here, we ended up having most of that actually hacked. So hopefully I was instrumental in helping out the team with the win, but I know I definitely spotted a lot of enemies for my teammates. Personally, this isn't a game mode that I would jump on and want to play all the time. It's one where if I was having a group of friends who were playing and I needed to take a break and eat or something, I could jump on and do this and kind of still interact with the game and with the team while I'm doing that. But, me personally, I would much rather be on the field with a gun. But for people who like this sort of thing, who like the strategy aspect of it, and if you definitely want to help out your team, this can definitely help out your teammates, and it can turn around a game, especially like if you've got a game where one hacker is on just one team. I mean, it can kind of put the other team at a disadvantage because so many people are being spotted, but that's the game. So anyway, there you go. That is Battlefield Hardline Hacker Mode. If you have any tips, definitely leave them down below. I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert or anything at this, but I do believe that hopefully the tips that I gave you with this video and the previous one, it'll definitely give you a good start. And again, if all this looked super confusing, go check out the previous video that I made where I'll walk through and show you each one of these tools and what they do. That does it for me, the Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.